We are live.
Oh, we
Ukraine.
are. Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm too busy looking at memes. Hello, welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode 388. Tonight, I'm joined with Jared,
Hello.
the B-A-double-B.
Hello.
It always gets me reading that. And Alex Schlegel,
Hey, everybody, ready to spread some misinformation?
as always, and the classic Nikki Pinecone.
What's up, y'all?
So, and did I introduce myself? I'm Otto, if you guys didn't know. Not like you care. Anyway, so we're at Ukraine, Russia. They're beefing right now.
I didn't hear anything about it. What's going on?
Well,
How close are we to nuclear destruction?
If they had it their way, we'd be fucking there already. If they, I just don't know.
You gotta say it like a Ukrainian. Bulls deep.
Bulls deep.
Bulls deep.
Is that a Ukrainian?
Did you guys put up your
Ukrainian, Russian, whatever? It's all.
Did you guys put up your Ukrainian flags on your Facebook profiles yet?
Yeah,
not yet. No,
we're not helping enough, guys. Come on, get it together.
Have you stopped buying your Russian vodka yet?
Yeah, what a bunch of fucking losers.
God. Did you hear the PA Liquor Board is going to try to ban Russian?
This
Russian
is Freedom
liquor
Fries
products?
all over again. This is Freedom Fries.
We're
Dude,
calling
this is just
it
9/11 all over
We're
again.
calling it now Freedom Potato Spirits. Okay.
Freedom potato spirits.
Look,
That's a podcast title.
That's a
as
good.
the alternative hipster douche waffle, I drink French vodka.
Yeah, French things
I
are
don't drink
acceptable
vodka.
now.
You drinking that Grey Goose?
I like
French
taste.
is
we
back
do
in.
it.
French is is French in the coalition of the willing this time?
Yes.
Oh man, I was there was a sex joke there, but I'm not gonna make it. But anyway, so yeah, apparently, so when did this pop off? It wasn't. This is the first time I guess we've convened the podcast since the war broke out
since 2014.
Maybe 2005. The
Right.
first coup was in 2005.
Yeah,
I think it went south when they just like sort of assembled the Soviet Union and like kind of created the country, like forced these different groups together way back in the day, like
Or just expanding when they.
Well, I
add
mean, yeah,
12
you could trace
countries
it
to
back.
NATO.
You could trace it back indefinitely if you wanted to. But...
Like, let's do some serious victim blaming and just say it happened when they named Ukraine the breadbasket of the Eastern Europe.
and then everybody got fat from the carbs, and it was downhill.
Like, don't stop being good at shit, guys. Like, you draw people's attention.
So, I mean, as we chronicled for a long time, that the shit was going down in Ukraine. It was a fucking coup, happened 2004, 2014. It's a continuation. I guess it's a culmination of all these events that have happened.
Well, history begins on a certain date, depending on which propaganda channel you follow.
Right. Whenever something happens to America, and that's usually when history begins. For this,
you can't invade a sovereign country. That's bad.
Yeah, right.
What?
Right. I mean, it's blowing my mind because so as soon as this thing pops off, we heard that, I admit I was wrong. I didn't think Putin would invade. I didn't think he would send troops in, but he did.
Neither did Scott Horton.
Yeah. Well, no one did because I'm sorry. I take it's the benefit of the doubt is never with the U.S. propaganda machines in my mind.
So
I will never give them that.
Rand Corporation did predict it. I saw just a report from Rand Corporation for the Pentagon that said, yeah, continuing to do this, continuing to put weapons and build NATO allies, there's a good chance this will force Russia into a position of having to acquire more territory or whatever, push them into exactly what they did now. So
this is in writing somewhere?
I just saw it referenced. It was from Rand Corporation. But maybe I can find it during the break.
Rand Paul?
No, Rand Corporation. It's some kind of like, I don't know, big corporation that serves the Pentagon. Like,
yeah.
I'll see if I can
Yeah,
find it.
name one that doesn't.
I know. But, so when this started popping off or whatever, I was shocked by it because, like I said, I don't give usually they're wrong. They're always wrong. They're always lying. They're always telling you something. And they kept on saying for weeks, "Oh, Russia's going to invade tomorrow," and then it never happened. So eventually, I just gave up on it's not going to happen. And then it fucking happened. I was like, "Oh shit. Oh well." Well, okay, so that makes me wrong once and you wrong like 975 billion times.
So I guess, I think what really happened was eventually he's like, well, look, they're just going to keep doing these false flags until we actually do jump in and fight. We might as well just fucking take credit for it and big dick them.
I know. That's exactly where it's, Putin, you feel like I'm just being an apologist for Russia because I'm like, hey, I'm trying to understand the situation. I'm trying to figure out how all right, so trace this back in my head. Like, I've been really processing this shit just because it's stuff like this always keeps me up. When we assassinated Khashoggi, or was that Khashoggi?
No,
he was the woman.
No, he was killed by the Saudis.
Yeah, but who was the general we killed? Or not we, but Trump
Yeah,
had
who did you kill,
assassinated.
Otto?
That's for you. That's for me to know and you to find out.
the Meacocks.
I mean, if you're out there killing generals, that's
people
pretty
out.
based.
Just like, come here, Ashcroft.
General Salome, is that?
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
So like that, I thought for sure that was gonna trigger some type of conflict, and so like that kept me up. So I start thinking about all
he
this
was
shit.
general of Syria, right?
No,
General-
Iran.
No.
Oh no, Iran. Okay.
Yeah, and they did it while he was in Iraq visiting or
Yep.
something,
But
right?
but Iran doesn't. Does Iran have nuclear weapons?
No.
Yeah, they're not
No
allowed.
capability.
They're not allowed
No.
to.
Wait. Are we
to
speaking?
create
Are we speaking as Israel or anyone else in the world?
Yeah.
if I'm on the record for Israel, they've had them for 100 years.
Right.
Before, yeah.
Well, how about Putin said he put his nuclear forces on alert?
Because they have more nukes than the entire world. I mean,
But that's
like,
why you
more
have
than the United
nukes,
States.
right? When the whole world
Yeah.
is threatening you, right? Like you're like, yeah, take the safeties off, boys. I mean, if you didn't have nukes, he would have been just bulldozed long ago, probably. So
Right. So I before I became a libertarian, I was kind of like halfway there, but I still always looked at Russia was the threat. I was like, oh yeah, I don't trust Russia. I was like, that they're the ones you should be looking out for. Before I knew anything, I'm talking going back to like 2007-ish.
Well,
Your
did you watch
your
a lot of
normie
James
days.
Bond movies and stuff like that as a growing
yeah,
up?
it was yeah,
Top
right.
Gun.
But I read this article in the American Conservative back in 2008, right after Russia invaded Georgia. And it was like it explained like it just explained it better. Like, hey, Russia's trying to get a sphere of influence around their country, like how the United States has in their hemisphere, and that's all they're trying to do. They're not trying to attack the United States. They're not trying to, and it kind of like just through this whole article, it just put things in perspective. And I kind of like since then, it kind of like blew my mind. Like, okay, wow, like, and so I've always looked at it through those lenses. Like, Russia's reacting to events that are happening constantly on its border, whether they're installing missiles, they're starting color-coded revolutions, the U.S. government that is, and they're, the West, Turkey, all, Turkey's involved, Israel's involved, Great Britain, France, the usual suspects are always involved. So like, if you just look at it through that type of perspective, you understand what Putin did, why he did it, but you can still be like, hey, he's still an evil dictator and asshole,
but I think
like piece of shit. Like,
it's our
I can
job
still
to
say
point out that
two
this
good
is what
things.
governments do. This is
Yeah.
just
Right.
what they do. Okay.
Yes,
That's saying like
yes.
to a state, every other state is a wolf, right? Like, yeah, they're always going to be scrapping and fighting, and what they're fighting over is you. Okay, fighting over the right to rule you. I say, I don't have any beef with any Russian that I know of. So hey, I don't care about any sanctions. We've got Bitcoin. You've got vodka. You've got gas. You've got energy. Like, I'm willing to just completely ignore like what these asshole governments are doing, and let's try to just carry on without them. And if we disregard their authority, what do they have?
Yeah, and also you look at this too, like you were talking about energy. So now they have no one to trade with because there's all these sanctions against them.
So
now it's
while
pushing
you
them
say
That's not
closer to
even
China.
true, though. That's not even true, though. The United States is still buying oil from them.
Right.
Right.
There's
So
no
we're-
sanction on anything that matters.
Yeah, that's the
There's
thing. Like, if you
sanctions
go
on
in-
vodka.
if you go
Meanwhile,
in-
these dummies are like
no.
pouring out their vodka and they're filling up their.
But
No,
regardless, the
you look at
tensions
what the
between
Swift
states.
you look at what the Swift system shut off.
Oh, if they shut that off, we're fucked.
everything but the energy sector. Everyone's still fucking buying oil from them. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
It's
But I'm
gonna
just
get
saying, like, you're
weird.
pushing, but for other stuff, you're pushing Russia closer to China, and so then that's gonna be their next thing. See, they're forming this new axis of power. That's gonna be the neocon rallying cry. It's like, oh, it's Russia and China. Remember the axis of evil? Remember that bullshit?
Yeah.
From
Otto,
fucking-
you're
yeah.
like fucking 20 years behind, man. They've had that rallying cry
I
since we
know.
were in fucking high school. We're not
I
new.
know.
See,
I'm
it's
just
gonna
It was
come
always
saying,
down.
this is
It was always
new
on the
sh-
back
no,
burner, though. It was on the back
yes,
burner.
yes.
It was always on
And
the
this
back
is now-
burner. Yeah.
And just seeing so many fucking left liberals and piece of shits like with their fucking Ukrainian flags spreading all this fucking bullshit, like
Dude.
unverified. I won't even call it misinformation. It's just unverified information that why does everyone feel so comfortable running with shit like a
Right.
meme of about like something as serious as a war, like an actual war. Like that's not like, oh hey, you're making fun of what some guy said. It's clearly fake, and you're just like mocking them. But this is like you're trying to spread about information about the ghost of Kiev. Like that
I mean,
immediately sounded
I
phony
lived
to
through
me.
this
the
with
immediate
Saddam
first time.
Hussein. Like
Yeah.
it was the same plays with Saddam Hussein, only instead of the left leading the charge like they are now, it was the right
It's
that was leading
neocons.
the war
Right.
drums. So, and they're all cackling
Wait.
now.
At
right?
least
They're
the
all-
right, at least the neocons kind of made it a little believable. Like now it's just so fucking like, wait a minute.
Yeah, at
This-
least they took the time to stage a major false flag in the
Right.
U.S.
They're
Right?
not- yeah.
I mean,
Wait. But you're like, so
They're not
I-
even
I-
trying. Like these shit libs aren't even trying
they're
anymore.
like,
this
They're
they'll just
phoned
believe
it in.
anything we tell them. We don't
This
even
is-
have to try. We don't have
this
to do
is
all the
new to
theater
me.
we
But
used
they have,
to.
but to their credit, I mean, they've been pumping up this ever since like Obama got out of office. They've been pumping up, and Trump got in. They've been pumping up this anti-Russian propaganda for the last like 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so they've been working at this. Like,
Oh, they've been dying to get this going since the Soviet Union collapsed.
sure.
They're like,
Sure.
what? But our
Not
contracts.
really. Not
But I
really.
mean,
And they're
even
like, well,
Obama-
they
but even
pivoted to the
Obama was
Middle
on-
East. They pivoted to the Middle East for a while, but they never
Yeah.
stopped wishing for the olden days with
Oh,
Cold
yeah,
War
yeah.
contracts.
You're
But
okay.
Yeah.
I was
But
reading.
the
So I was
I'm
reading
talking
an
about the left
article.
liberals. Yeah. Go for it.
So I was reading an article that Glenn Greenwald wrote up on his Substack, and he's basically comparing this whole thing to the run up to 9/11. Just but beat for beat, it's matching everything, right? I mean, you have this tragedy that happens, and immediately it's like if you oppose the official story that's out there, you are immediately labeled a terrorist, or you're labeled a traitor, rather.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
a Putin
and they're-
apologist. A Putin
They're like really
apologist.
trying to shut down media too. Like we have
Yeah.
this is a time to speak with a unified narrative, and they're
Oh, yeah,
like
where's the
literally
motherfucker
blurting
that's
stuff
like-
that out.
Well, they're
Yeah,
talking
it's like
about
we
putting
can't- we
Alex
can't give-
Jones in jail.
Oh yeah, they're talking about putting like Tulsi Gabbard in jail.
Wow.
Like these people are fucking just crazy.
But
They're
you
fucking
said it's the
deranged.
left leading this, but it's not just the left.
No, it's everybody.
because good
That's
old
the thing.
Lindsey Graham
That's the
was
thing.
doing
Greenwald was
Lindsey
pointing
Graham
out is that
stuff.
like, okay, you might have like the Republicans blaming it on one thing, and then or saying it's like, oh, because you like have transgender bathrooms, and then the left is like,
It's just
but
a
like,
deep
but
state
they're still
doing
united on the front that like Russia bad, like. This is, completely the fault of Putin. He's a madman. He's
Look,
irrational.
he's
all this
a-
shit.
There's
He's
nothing
pulling
more.
babies out of incubators.
There's
Right.
nothing
Yeah.
more based than being the fucking Keebler elf calling America a bunch of pussies. I'm just saying. Thank you for the imagery, Lindsey Graham. Thank you so much.
And another thing that Greenwald was pointing out was how he was talking about how back during like, I guess it would have been the 2008 election, Romney and Obama were in a debate, and Romney was trying to drum up this whole Russia.
Thank you.
Russia is the biggest enemy that we have, and like Obama basically like laughed him off the stage, saying he was being ridiculous. And then
He said Cold War's over.
Cold War's over, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Obama like was also on the record, to his credit, of like saying like we have no business like with Ukraine, like we should not care about
Wait a minute,
Ukraine's foreign policy.
But he then sent Joe Biden over there to
Right.
overthrow their government.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
right.
So
But then it's also
Contract
follow the
clause.
money
mixed
too.
signals?
It's just the deep state doing deep state shit. You know, like they don't care
Yeah.
whoever the moron is in the White House. That's just how they have to market it slightly differently.
Right.
You know, it's patriotic, blah, 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 or it's against racism. It doesn't matter. They just play whatever people are buying and call them traitors if they oppose it.
How about Romney and all the conflict of interest in Ukraine? Like, isn't Romney's kid like on a board, like an energy board over in Ukraine? And then you have
that's Biden.
Hunter.
That's Biden.
No, but Romney's kid too, and apparently like Pelosi's. There's like so many corrupt
Senator's son.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Someone just play the fucking CCR songs. Let it roll. It can do the talking for us.
Seriously, it's fucking insane. Anyway, but yeah, there's ties. And then
It'd be insane if it wasn't so fucking believable.
I mean, you have video. I think I posted in our chat, Jared, or maybe not, where Biden was being interviewed, you know, on the campaign trail about his son's investments, and he got so fucking defensive and just switching the topic and just focusing on Orange Man bad and Putin's this and that, and Ukraine's an ally. Like they've just gone. It's fucking insane.
Hey, can we play that clip of Hillary? Of
Oh my
Hillary?
God.
They dragged out Hillary. And like she's still fighting Trump, but this is her moment to cackle about war. They're like, okay, we've got to get some. Where like who are our go-to warmongers? And I'm sure Hillary's name was there. Oh, look at her.
Oh, she's
Oh
like,
my God.
She's like, yes, look, like the adrenochrome is dried up. Look at this lizard suit.
That's what this is really
Also
about.
make sure that within our own country, we are calling out those people who are giving aid and comfort to
Those
Vladimir
people.
That's
Putin.
aid and
who
comfort.
are
Aid
talking
and
about
comfort.
What a genius he is, what a smart
Talking about what a
move it
genius
is,
he is. He's talking. She's
who
mentioning
are
Trump there.
Unfortunately,
And treason.
being broadcast by Russian media, not only inside Russia, but in Europe to demonstrate the division within our own country. We have to also make sure that
I
within
think she
our
wants
own
to lock him
country, we are calling out those people who are giving aid and comfort to Vladimir Putin.
Oh, sorry, it's repeating.
So, anyways, and mind you, for those listening, this is an
That's horrifying.
MSNBC.
Get that out of here.
This is an MSNBC, and it's
I'm gonna
that
wait. I have to
morning.
pour some bleach in my eyes. Give me a second.
Right, right. And you know who's who's interviewing her? That's Mika Brzezinski, whose father basically armed the Mujahideen to fight the Russians in Afghanistan. Like who basically
other things,
right? And now she's interviewing. And now what? She's married to that fucking stooge. Who's the guy?
Incestuous bullshit.
Former congressman. I mean, it's like, and then let's bring out Hillary to talk about basically censoring social media, and big tech needs to get involved. And
if
they
there's
need
actually
to
more,
censor.
There's
like,
more of that clip where, like, I'm pretty sure she gets like specifically blaming podcasters and alternative media. Like, we're the people giving aid and comfort. Like, us
Exactly. Right.
Like,
right. It's opposing the war is going to be giving aid and comfort, and you're a traitor and treason and trial and death.
I mean,
penalty,
we're all
guess.
housing like Russian soldiers too, right?
But let me play devil's advocate.
You guys
here.
are too, right?
I have a solid devil's advocate point. Okay. Now, if we're gonna be taking in immigrants from countries, I'm just saying, maybe this isn't the worst country to take in, immigrants from.
What, Russia?
Well, no, the Ukraine. I want a fucking Ukrainian bride.
Aren't they hot?
Like,
I mean,
aren't they gonna
they're
like? That's
smoking,
if we're gonna
right?
take in immigrants. Like, I want
this-
Ukrainian women flooding over. Can we have that happen? Like, I don't need any more Somalis. Just bring the Ukrainian women.
I think that's somewhat bigoted. I'm all for the Somalis and the Ukrainians. We need them all. They are all beautiful. Bring them on.
I want the Nigerian women. The Somalian women, I don't know. That's too skinny, too tall.
This is just
That is the best kind of foreign policy, isn't it? It's like, hey, I'm sorry your country's fucked up. You want to come over here? Like, we actually need folks. Come on over.
Yeah, they're I saw an interview today, and it just seems like, have you guys noticed the news coverage is just so sloppy and it just seems so fake and staged
I
almost.
can't watch the news
It's
coverage,
all
dude.
fake.
Well, so
Oh,
yeah.
I've been watching
Like
here's-
it's so
RT.
blatant.
I'm just
So
reading
Dave-
like
I've been
Glenn
watching RT.
Greenwald and antiwar.com and
Yeah.
what's
So
her name?
what-
Kathy Blackstone.
So let's
What's her
take
name?
it back. What is the move in play right now? World Economic Forum. What is their goal?
Great reset. You will own
But
nothing.
what is their method to achieve the Great Reset?
the Green New Deal?
They need to make humanity lose faith in all institutions so that they'll come crawling, begging them to make sense of everything.
Well, all they need is
They
a
need to
CBDC.
destroy everything.
They just need it. Well, they need to destroy the economy to the point where everyone's like,
Exactly.
oh, the answer is obviously a central bank digital currency. And then the
With it-
control
yep.
grid is, that's like the singularity of ultimate tyranny. Like,
For the fully vaxxed and boosted only.
yeah,
Triple
like
boosted.
programmable money, like, oh, your social credit score drops. We're turning off the coins in your wallet.
So
So-
I have a
Yeah.
Canadian friend that told me that up in Canada, as like already the official Canadian what do you call it? The fucking like that basically where everybody gets a living wage, that whole shit. Like, hey,
Going to
we're
be
gonna
handed out by a central
UBI.
bank digital currency.
and they're it's already in their like moving through their government.
And
that
people
they're
will
gonna
beg
have
for it.
that.
They'll applaud for it. They'll see ads for it. Everyone will be propagandized. It'll fight racism. It'll help with global warming. It'll like everything will be, flowers.
Jared.
And then they'll be like,
But
oh,
wait,
wait,
I
you were
gotta-
at a protest? Sorry. Like,
So
oh,
they-
wait a minute. You're not, no, you've already bought enough gasoline. Beyond that, you didn't get your climate quotient. Like you've already used enough. Do you want to buy carbon credits to continue?
Where's
in
So-
this
your
gas
social
station?
credit score at?
Speaking of all that, so nobody keyed in on the fact that like Schlegel was talking about like Hillary Clinton earlier, and like, nobody mentioned that like the shortages like in adrenochrome that have been running rampant through the world.
Oh
like,
yeah.
One of you guys noted like her face looked like
I
it
mean,
was actually
Right. Well,
falling off.
that could be. I think that's the biolabs in the Ukraine that they had to that Russia bombed, because it was probably.
Yeah, that's
I
why
think what
Russia
they were
invaded.
doing is they were taking poor Ukrainian children, they were extracting the adrenochrome, right, and
Going
using
through
it and
Epstein
sending it-
Island.
and sending it
through the Clinton
straight to
Foundation.
Davos.
Well, the first
Routed
what-
through the usual stops.
weird,
Clinton
it's,
Foundation, Epstein
The
Island.
Vatican.
The Vatican.
So where was the first place that I heard Putin went and took control of? I heard it was Pripyat. He went and fucking got Chernobyl.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, is that what's going on like under the dome? Like they're
Maybe.
they're just manufacturing adrenochrome?
Well, you know what? And having a cover story like, "Hey, it's a nuclear waste zone. It's too dangerous. Don't come here," is a great cover story. To like, this is where we enslave children
It
for
only
their.
makes me want to go
Yeah.
more. Like
The
it's
Alex
always been
Jones-
number one on my list. The places I need to go. I want to see that Ferris wheel, and then like
Yeah,
all of
I'm
the
pretty sure
zombies.
you can visit it safely, like as long as you're not hanging around or like kicking up dust and stuff. I think you're fine.
The Alex Jones tip jar is filling up quickly.
So yeah, how does this work? If every time he's right, you're supposed to throw money in? Is that?
There we go. I don't know. I should have a tip jar,
Babs,
but
Babs doesn't know what a tip jar is. He
he doesn't tip.
tip
He doesn't
very
believe in
often.
tipping.
What are you talking about?
He's like the
Doesn't
guy from
tip.
Pulp Fiction.
He doesn't believe in it.
Or not
No.
Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. But no, how about the Alex Jones prediction, Jared? You should that was fucking insane.
Wait,
That
where is this?
it's one of the it's in the clips.
I've
that
got
we
like
posted.
8 different tabs up
It's
now.
the one where he called
the-
the month that was going to happen.
Right. It was October of 21. It's it's you'll see it in there, but it's fucking insane. This was back in October of 2021, and he fucking calls it. And it's exactly what's going on. Like with
there.
it's so the Alex Jones tip jar is filling up quickly.
One
And
thing
then
I noticed
go
that
ahead,
might
Babs.
make sense. Remember how like Bill Gates was buying up all that farmland, and you're like, "Wow, Bill Gates is the
Yeah.
largest private owner of farmland."
Oh, dude,
Wow, Bill
fucking
Gates buys more farmland. What's going on there? Next thing you know, like who's like the biggest like wheat producer in the world? Russia and China like are producing like almost all the wheat, and then like well more than the United States. All right, there's Alex Jones.
But we're looking at a giant war in February right now. Currently, that's the projections with the top people on the earth who claim they're not with the New World Order Combine. Is war in February. And this is the type of time, like right before World War I, right before World War II, when everything kicks off. But
Damn.
Well,
Yeah.
so while we're
I
talking,
love it.
But doesn't he say that like every month though?
Probably.
I mean, I don't know.
Probably.
Doesn't matter.
Well, so you mentioned the farmland thing. I was laughing my ass off because watching the quartering today when he pulled out a fucking video of Joe Rogan, fucking Alex Jones's good buddy, like just talking mad shit on fucking Bill Gates because he like say like he's a fat piece of shit. Like look at his man boobs and his fat gut. Like he shouldn't be giving medical advice. Why is he buying all this farmland?
Well, what if it's because he knew
I'm not eating
sanctions were
bugs,
coming
motherfucker.
against Russia and possibly China? I've got some like, for instance, I've got some worldwide wheat production. China, 1.34 million metric tons. India, 95 million metric tons. Russia, 85.9 million metric tons. United States, 47 million metric tons.
So Bill Gates wants everybody eating bugs though, man. And like,
Yeah, but imagine what if
I ain't doing
he's
it.
got planned on cutting off China and Russia from global markets and saying, well, you're going to need my farmland now because, right, like.
I think China and Russia are thinking about cutting us off of global markets. I mean, Russia's already talked about making Bitcoin a fucking state currency.
Are they
Russia?
really?
Yeah,
I doubt it.
They'll never do it. They'll never do it.
it'd be
Well,
a pretty,
you just-
pretty
who
big
cares?
dick
I don't
move.
care what the governments do, right? Like governments are going to be using Bitcoin. That's, Bitcoin's for everybody, including our
Yeah.
enemies. And governments are doing it. Nope, whatever, bring it on. But
I mean,
let's
for me,
face it.
that's just good for buy-in. Like that makes my Bitcoin worth way more.
Exactly. And I'm looking at when I hear these gripes from Hillary Clinton types about how Bitcoin is going to prevent them from using economic sanctions, like, yeah, this is exactly why it was invented. Like it is and now they're really getting pissed about it. I've seen a lot of headlines like, but our Russian sanctions won't work because of Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin.
So the thing is, for me, like I'm laughing my ass off about this Joe Rogan bit, and the thing is because while he's talking about if he wants us all to eat bugs, in my head I'm just thinking back to Joe Rogan who's like, motherfucker, I can afford people medicine. I'm
Yeah.
just imagining him saying to Bill Gates, motherfucker, I can afford people food.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, is that clip up and available? We should find that clip. Let me
I know the
find it.
quartering played. It was
Sounds
just
great.
funny because they pull up an image of like Bill Gates's man titties and shit.
Yeah,
Now, not that I have anything to say about the matter because I'm a fat piece of shit, but I'm
Right,
not Bill Gates
same.
telling everyone how to live their lives.
Did you see the one where he was asked a question about, I guess, how natural immunity is progressing with Omicron?
and he
and he
prefaced it with
said, and he's
sadly.
like, unfortunately, it's
Unfortunately, nature's better than
providing
our
excellent
vaccines.
immunity.
Son of a
So
bitch.
embarrassing.
Well,
Jesus
wasn't it
Christ.
New York City lifted their vaccine mandate?
Yup.
Sort of.
All crumbling.
Well, now that
I
Ukraine
have
is
a-
a distraction, they can kind of like sweep all that under the rug and be like, "Oh, we never did any of that."
Well,
No.
but while you guys are sailing, guess what isn't pulling back any of their vaccine mandates? Colleges. No, colleges. Every university is still mandating vaccines for the most part.
like all of them. I mean, there's
Yeah.
probably a few holding
So
out.
this is how it happens. Sure, they'll pull it back on the main population, but they don't need the main population. They just
Oh,
need
is
the
this
next
Rob?
generation.
What's his name?
Suddenly, there's going to be like a whole generation of like infertile people. Like everyone college educated from around this time period is going to be infertile, right? It's going to be like a demographic shift from years to come. Who
Well,
knows? what it'll
I've
be.
watched the movie. That's Children of Men.
Children of
right?
Men, yeah. Holy shit, that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Really?
It's coming up on the Road to Hell podcast.
Damn, that movie fucked me up when the first time I saw that.
It's
'Cause it
wild.
was-
Yeah.
That movie was like, ooh, and it's like, it's one of those movies. You know what other movie? The Road. That one fucked me up too.
Read the book, dude.
The
Yeah,
book's
I read
better.
the book. I read the book. It was ironic when I read the book. That was like, I think the last year I was in the Air Force and I was stationed over in Korea, and we were doing all these stupid exercises, basically imitating World War III on the Korean Peninsula. basically playing fake war, but it's boring as fuck because it's like, yeah, you can't do any welding or machining, and all they want to do is just fly the fucking plane. So we basically just sat around the shop watching movies, reading books, but we just had to play fake war. So I was like reading, I think I read the entire book while in Mop 4, which is basically like full gas mask and everything. And I'm like in the fucking shop just reading like The Road. It's fucking insane. Yeah, it was pretty apocalyptic, but yeah. But holy shit,
right.
that movie.
To be honest, that's the way to read that book.
I know, right?
Yeah, you really get into character.
Yeah, no, I shit you not. Like, because I was reading a lot over there because I was like, fuck, there's so much downtime, and I was like, I just want to. Yeah, that book was, but then the movie though, and yeah, that movie was fucked. Just like Children of Men. It was heavy.
So wait, you know what we can do now with the next test is you read The Road with the gas mask on. Now you need to go and watch the Kardashians while reading Brave New World and like eating some fucking fast food.
I started.
You know
Brave
how to
New
party,
World,
man.
but-
Wow.
I started Brave New World, but I think I wanted to read it like right after 1984, and I was just like, "Nah, I'm good. I need to take a little break
I
from."
think it's
dystopian
way
novels.
better. It's also way more accurate.
Yeah,
Like everyone talks about, oh, we live in 1984. We live way more in fucking Brave New World than 1984.
yeah, that's for sure.
You're like dystopian future hipster over here.
I have an entire podcast dedicated to it.
That could be like a whole new scientific like field of study. Like exactly what kind of dystopia are we headed to? We need like our best minds working on this.
Well, if that's something you're actually interested in, so I do have the Road to Hell podcast where me and my buddy Danny, like he actually is a historian, particularly on utopias. Like it's specifically what he studies. And so we're just going through all of the science fiction, all the movies and books and stuff, deciding how much of it was like a warning and how much of it was just like a blueprint.
Well, a lot of it is just kind of descriptive. I mean, a lot of just descriptive of history, just with a twist. And
so there's that, and then there's all of the people that were actually involved in the eugenics program, and like Aldous Huxley's brother was in charge of, I can't remember what the specific organization was, but both him and Orwell, all those guys belong to the same clubs. We'll just say.
Were they all eugenicists?
Yes,
like
every last
Sangers.
fucking one of them. Yes,
God,
every last
like
one
Margaret
of them.
Sanger.
No, dude, it's you, especially when you get into sci-fi, almost everybody in that field is like in some way just barely removed from.
Well, these people did not go away. This is still
No, they changed their name. That's why the whole meta thing was the funniest thing in the world to me. It's like, look, they're still doing it. They just changed the name. That way you can't follow the trail back in history.
so easy.
Sadly,
What is
you got to
it?
actually pay attention just a little.
Whoever controls the past controls the future, and whoever controls the present controls the past.
That was a
What's it?
Is that a Rage Against the Machine quote?
yeah.
The Fabian
Unfortunately, now they've gone full shit lib commie.
the Fabian
Sad, very
Socialist.
sad.
That's like the organization. Like everyone from the Fabian Socialist movement, they're all fucking still around.
I mean, let's face it. You see these busybodies like Fauci on TV that are like, I'm the smart guy, and you guys are stupid, and I'll lie to you. I'll inject
I haven't seen him in
I don't
months.
care what I have to do.
Excited.
What's that? You haven't seen him?
I haven't seen him in a while. I was getting excited.
Well, they put him. I guess
Is he in
they
Gitmo?
like
Is he in Gitmo?
they
did his
put him
thing.
away
He's
to make
over.
room for Ukraine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like we're moving on to another crisis now.
Yeah, you notice like it's
he had his 10
acceptable.
minutes of tyranny, and now it's for the next thing. You know,
I mean, the CDC just did a complete 180 while everybody's distracted with Ukraine. I mean, basically now it's acceptable. Everything we've been talking about, all the misinformation and disinformation, punk rock libertarians has been
and
spreading.
don't forget malinformation.
and
forget
malinformation, the MDM.
Malinformation?
Yeah,
yeah.
malinformation.
Oh, yeah.
That's the new one. It's MDM.
Wow.
They came up with an acronym now.
Wait,
For-
where's the D?
Punk Rock Libertarians podcast. DIS.
Maldism?
No, miss, dis, and mal, like malicious.
Let's
Or
give him the
mal-
malformation. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But fuck, I forgot what it
Sounds
was.
sexual.
But I was watching. Did you guys see like in sports? Like there was an NBA game I was watching, and then there was a bunch of fucking like MLS soccer, and you see all these idiots with Ukraine flags and all these idiots on social media changing their shit to Ukrainian flags.
Have the soccer
and, like,
players stopped dying yet?
I think that's more over in Europe. I think
now they've gone to war for Ukraine. So it's
yeah, they're like, hey, look, you know, they're better to die on a soccer field.
Well, the
than in,
worst
like,
is them.
the
Is
trenches
like
that's
that video
World
of
War III
like
in Europe.
Zelensky or whatever his name is that everyone's like, oh, this guy's so brave. This guy's, and then there was the false report of him like being on the front lines, but it was from
that
like
was from like an
4 years
exercise.
ago.
Yeah, it was like from an exercise. It was when he was
Cardboard
getting
guns.
Yeah, it was when he
Like,
was.
you
getting
guys are cheering on like basically a guy that was installed through a coup, right? I mean,
right. It's like they were
Yeah.
like his CIA training photos. Those were like probably taken.
No, there's
at, like,
records.
basic
There's,
training for the CIA assets. You know, like
It was
here
the
it
College
is.
of the Americas, or
They were all advisors in Ukraine. Like all. Like,
I mean, there's
fucking-
like
yeah.
legit audio out there of this. I forget who it is. Like some, not the Secretary of State, but
Vicky Newland, who's like she was during the Clinton administration. She was
Oh, the one where she brags about the
Ambassador
whole
of the
Ukrainian
EU.
Well,
shit?
she's like
she's
she
like
calls
he's
him,
our
like-
guy. He's our guy.
yeah, he's our guy. Yeah, she like has a nickname for him. It's like Yats or something like that. Yats,
Yeah.
he's our
yeah,
guy.
she selected him, and then that came to
And they were like, and then she said, "Fuck the EU, run this
Right.
through the UN." She basically was like, "Fuck the EU," even though they knew, like, probably some countries in Europe were like, "Hey, America, you're going a little too far in Ukraine. Like, woe it the fuck down." Like,
Yeah.
not.
Well, look, they have to go with the boss bitch, big dick female fucking trope, man. Like they've got to have these fucking women in pantsuits swinging their 14-inch cocks around. That's what they're
Have you
after.
seen any of the Russian propaganda?
Sounds hot.
I've been watching RT, and they're not allowed to use the word war or invasion. It's called special operations in Ukraine. I kid
Wow.
you not.
Wow.
It's special. It's operations. It's special operations. And I mean, it's interesting to see the flip side of the propaganda, right? But as long as you understand it, that's still propaganda.
So I just call up my buddy Jake, who runs Childerberg, and I ask him what the fuck's going on over there. And so he just gives his mother-in-law a call.
No shit.
She's she lives in Kiev. Because he was smart.
Wait,
got in
what's
Was
early.
the mother-in-law being liberated or invaded?
She's trying to get out right now, but
Does she feel liberated or invaded?
I think she's just maybe taking a lot of pills, hiding. I don't know.
So
Oh.
liberated.
Sure.
Otto, you know who speaking of that, Icky Pete, that's Otto, that's someone I'm looking forward to hanging out with at the PA convention. He was on our bus going out to Pittsburgh last year, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Constantine.
Constantine. Yeah.
that's
I'd
right.
be curious to talk to him because in the group chat, he's just like a lot of these videos coming out of Ukraine that are in Ukrainian. He's translating in the PA group chat, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is like so. Yeah, but he's like, guys, just wait till next week. I'll answer all these questions. Talk to me, ask me questions like what's really
Nice.
going on over there. Because it's completely one-sided, one way or the other. Like there's no one. Like all of a sudden, all these reporters, Western reporters and corporate media, like reporters, just started showing up and like, and it's like everything just seems fishy. Have you noticed that? Like a lot of
Everything.
Is that a
Everything.
change?
Yeah.
That sounds like the norm at this point.
I mean, there's apparently
Yeah.
there's apparently a ton of like TikTok videos out there that are just completely fake, fabricated,
So
Yeah.
fucking
probably
fake.
just like procedurally generated.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
is
people
anybody
are running with
honestly
them.
curious?
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly curious what a world war is going to be like with memes and Twitter and TikTok and this has never been done before. So
I mean, that's honestly where we should fight our wars. It's just through memes. Wouldn't that be a lot better?
is where we're that.
I
I mean,
mean,
that's the real war. The meme war is
meme war.
the hot
but that's
war.
the problem. We win that war 100% of the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
But-
They
But
do
they're,
not want
they're
that.
well, they're
Right.
fighting our memes with their weapons. They're like, well, we have to shut down the internet. We have to censor, block. That's the whole way the whole
See,
censorship,
posted-
cancel culture comes in because they
Yeah.
can't handle the memes Like they can't handle like a direct meme against meme confrontation. Right?
Like I've been seeing all these
They
videos.
can't fight us on our own battleground. That's the
Never,
problem.
right? So they have to change the tactics. They have to,
Right.
take memes off the, try to neutralize us that way.
Or how about the Snake Island that was supposedly destroyed?
Oh my god!
And then they like returned. But then there's like the RT
Dumbass
propaganda.
libertarians. Oh,
Well,
I'm
people ate
sorry.
that shit up. People ate that up, and then
What was the story
I
there?
was like,
Like,
God,
dumb
what
are
a bunch
you?
of idiots.
I'm like,
Did you
it's so
believe the story
juvenile.
when you
It's
first
so
heard it?
juvenile. No,
what was
I-
the story? What was the story? They
the
told
story
they told
was
the
there was-
Russia to fuck off, and then they blew him up or something.
right? Like,
But it
and
turned out
first
they
of all,
just got
I don't-
captured or something.
Yeah, they surrendered. It was a warning shot that went off, and they surrendered.
Yeah.
Even so, right before we went on, the Ukrainian Navy is confirming that
find
they're all alive. And you
Wow.
fucking goddamn moron ass, like libertarians, you should have fucking known better. Like you all know, like
Fucking dummies.
libertarians should know better than this shit. But I saw so many bunch of you fucking assholes. Like you are so goddamn stupid sharing these unconfirmed stories, dude. I
Yeah.
was so pissed off. I'm like, why is everyone so comfortable? Like, oh wow, like these guys are so cool, and they're putting them on the Gadsden flag. They're putting Snake Island on the on the.
It's the
Gadsden flag. I'm
fog
like,
of war
you're so
with me.
stupid.
Okay,
I
It's
did
just
see
dumb.
that.
It's
I
just
did see
dumb.
that Gadsden flag with the island.
just-
There was
yeah,
already
but it
the
was
memes,
funny.
and I'm like,
You got to admit it was funny.
Look,
well, I mean,
whether
look,
or not.
I mean,
It's
me
fun.
personally, I people were asking me like my opinion on this shit when it first broke out. I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't really know.
Right.
Like, I know I'm against war.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
Like, I know fucking statism sucks ass. I know that. But if you want like the specifics of like what's happening, like I don't fucking know, because I'm
just
not going to
doesn't
believe
pass the
any
smell
fucking
test.
thing that I see.
Same.
Well, that's
and
that's
I
what
didn't
you
even
can be
believe that.
but confident about that if it's coming out of the TV, it's bullshit. If it's coming out of a politician, it's
I
bullshit.
can be confident we're all being lied to.
Right. And I,
I'm
and I,
lying to
I
you
didn't
right
believe
now.
RT. Well, that's true.
Look,
I
they're
didn't
all-
even believe
example
RT.
in that-
RT said that they showed a video of of the alleged people from Snake Island that were being captured. They were being offloaded the ship or whatever. And I was like, I don't even buy this. Like, I don't
Yeah.
I don't buy this because I don't know for
Well,
sure. I'm
I
like,
mean,
I'm
it is
just-
Russian.
I-
It is like Russian
Right,
government TV.
Right. So you just how hard is it to say, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be sharing something so confidently, like I fucking know. No, you
Yeah.
don't. You're just as dumb as I am. Fuck off. And I'm so goddamn sick of the shit, like with the whole like the what is it, the Queen or shit. Fuck, I was on a roll
did
there.
she die of COVID
Nope.
yet?
Wait, the
No,
lady
no,
that
no,
had
no.
her face bandaged up? That one?
oh yeah,
That
that was
too.
from 2018. It
Yeah.
was from a
Yeah.
like they're clearly using stock photos, and also
Yeah.
the fact listening to Scott Horton and talking about since that coup there was those two like basically western counties or states, and there's been rebel fighting going on, and you see some of these videos that people are posting with such confidence like you're saying, Otto, and it's like, wait, it's the dead of fucking winter over there. Look at these, they're wearing short sleeves in this video. The trees
Yes.
are there's
Yep.
leaves on the trees, you
Yep.
fucking moron.
What about the one with the guy carrying the
the
landmine?
landmine? Like it's like
Oh
it's
my
like,
god.
it
Dude,
looks
how
fake
is
as
there already
fuck.
Listen, I think it's fine. At least people don't have to be experts in immunology and virology and pandemics and microbiology and right. Like, thank
Right.
God they can be just
They're
experts
totally
in global politics and history and
Oh, and, like,
military
people-
strategy and
But no. There's a video of like that one armored vehicle, track vehicle that runs over that car. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, it was the Russians! They're killing people!" And I'm like, I don't know if that. Do you know what a Russian armored, track vehicle looks like compared to a
Right.
Ukrainian one? Because I don't know who the fuck that was. And apparently,
It was probably
I don't
an
know.
Israeli tank, like over Palestinian.
right. They
That's
could-
no,
I mean,
that wouldn't even
could be.
make a headline.
Yeah.
Well,
Is
now
that-
they got to
okay.
they got to
Here you go.
resurface. it.
little bit here. I'm gonna say something a little bit SJW. Why the
Go for
fuck
it.
does everyone always care when it's white people fighting white people? But when it's
Dude, I had
when
the
it's-
same
when
thought.
it's like when it's other people like in the eastern.
Well, it's hypocritical because these same people were the ones who were all woke.
Right.
But it's like you're not changing your flag to the Yemen flag, are you? Or your
No.
profile pic to the Yemen flag, are you?
Or like
all of a sudden
Yeah,
you turn
Somalia.
into Richard
Somalia.
Spencer. Yeah, they turn into Richard Spencer and saying "No more brother wars." Like what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
why do you only seem to care? Switch your flag on your.
Meanwhile,
stupid
one of the
social
major
media
parties
account.
in Ukraine is a neo-Nazi party.
Right. There's like that Azov battalion. They're all
Yeah,
fucking Nazis.
Sloboda.
And now they're being
Gay
armed by the
people
U.S.
for
government.
sport.
Like John McCain was like, these are our greatest allies. There was a video that surfaced. There was a video of like before he probably had a tumor, before he discovered he had a tumor and was going to die. Like he's on the Senate floor and he's
Thank God for that
sponsoring like,
tumor.
these are great people in Ukraine. And if any senator, he basically stands against or doesn't vote or debate. And like Rand Paul's like, no, and just walks out. We got to find this video because he knew
my
it.
God.
Like we are funding fuckery. We are funding fuckery in Ukraine.
They're fucking Nazis, and
Yeah.
it would be it would be like the Libertarian Party if we had minor success. That's the size of the Svoboda over in Ukraine, which is the one that used to be the National Social Party or the Social National Party. That's what their name used to be.
Why
Sound
can't
familiar?
some foreign power sweep in and like install the libertarian candidate? Like right in a coup. They're like, yeah, he's there. The libertarians have always been popular. Yeah.
It's because
welcome him.
we're not welcome to CFR, so they don't know they don't have anybody to pick from. So they stick with people like Stacey Abrams. Yeah,
I'm just gonna say
Nick Sarwark's going to be implanted in some country.
Nick Sarwark's going to be the next
president of Ukraine. You heard it here first.
yeah, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say if anybody in Russia wants to sponsor my political career, like I said, Bitcoin, I'll run for whatever office you want. Like tamper with U.S. elections. I'll help. Screw. Let's screw this shit up.
Is there anybody else who's like legit terrified of the Russian army? Like I've seen what those fucking people do for fun over there.
I mean, I'm just afraid of the nuclear weapons personally, but
No, dude, I'm more
Just
afraid.
duck and cover. Just duck and cover.
I'm
It's
more
okay.
afraid of running into one of those fucking 7.5 foot tall dudes that likes hanging off of fucking buildings from 100
oh yeah, those
stories
crazy
up.
bastards. Yeah,
Like,
fuck
wait,
you,
what? Is this
dude.
real or is this more?
Yeah,
TikTok
no,
shit?
they do this shit. They literally hang up the side of buildings for fun and they videotape it.
oh, dude, it's the
Oh,
With bears,
oh.
like,
They
with,
die,
uh,
but it's just
angle.
part of the fun.
GoPros.
Yeah.
They're like just.
Well, yeah, their
dangling,
jungle
like,
gyms are like made out of like rusty steel and shit, and they're like doing
Razor blades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, anybody who grows up in that kind of environment, I'm a little intimidated by.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fuck with you.
I mean, was it Cold War propaganda when they were telling us like Russian vodka's got antifreeze in it? Like,
You're old. Dude, I wasn't old enough, so I don't know. I'll defer to you on this.
I'm watching these dudes do parkour 100 fucking floors up and shit.
well,
that.
speaking of vodka, are there some cool black market opportunities that are emerging now? As I mean, some people like Russian vodka, and people are stopping to sell it. So, do we need to load some trucks up? How do we capitalize on this?
Importing Natalia.
we got to bootleg our own.
Yeah. If any
Goodness
Russian
sakes, Russian.
vodka companies want to come on, we'll sponsor you
They
here on
wanna
PRL.
sponsor- yeah, PRL, yeah, hell yeah.
They're all
I'm willing to
sponsored by Popoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Pop off. Hit us up.
Hit us
The
up.
bill. We're gonna send you the bill.
Is that offering
I'll just
comfort
send
and
him a
aid?
letter. Comfort and aid. We'll get shit.
Well,
Like, dude.
did you hear that Pornhub was blocking Russia?
Oh no shit. You can't.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Like, what about
Do we
what
know
about
that
the
for sure?
category? What about the category of Russia?
Somebody set
Russian porn.
their VPN for Russia and check Pornhub and see if it works.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
I'm on my
My
way.
VPN doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
They feel like all the Russian OnlyFans accounts are banned because if you do, that's aiding comfort to
Right,
the
it's
enemy.
like this is right collective punishment, right? Like, isn't that a beautiful thing? Like, some asshole government does something, and then you're like, oh, well, we're going to boycott their victims of their country.
Right.
Imagine
right.
if you could only do business with countries with people that live where their government's not shitty. Like,
yeah.
Nowhere.
like, oh, where I'd like to do business from you. What country are you from? UK. Oh, sorry. Like, oh, where are you from? Oh, California. Ooh, like,
Yeah.
Right.
oh, like, who am I doing business with?
I had a moment today on somebody's fucking timeline where they were going on about America's not an empire. There's no empires anymore. Like what empire takes territory and then gives it back to people? Like,
Oh.
and I'm just like, well, but that's not how we do it. We just implant the IMF or, get them hooked on the
Right.
SWIFT system and then
Exactly.
take it away if they don't do what we want them to. We're just better at empire.
Well, you don't need territory when you can extract resources. Like controlling
Exactly.
territory is inefficient. Like now you've got to govern that. You've got to manage it. No, if
Yeah,
you can
fuck
just
all
like
that.
install a puppet dictator over there
Dude,
and then
just
get-
wait
get
till
the oil.
central bank digital currencies. This is their wet dream. They have been just
Well,
dying for
and-
so long. Oh,
And that's what I think the end goal of this is. Like COVID got them to get all of the fucking biomedical shit that they want.
Yep.
Now they're going after the money. This whole thing is everyone's good. Like from what I understand, there's actually already like
The digital currency is in the graphene oxide churning through your veins.
maybe, but no, they're talking about like
talk about a
actual-
shit coin.
The
And
UN
yeah.
Shitcoin injection.
the UN is talking global treaties about like being able to cut off funding to nations that don't play ball in these.
Is this why
instances.
Bitcoin spiked today?
Probably.
Yeah.
It was
Hell
a
yeah.
major spike, man. It was massive. I don't know
Yeah.
what's happening. I
think
mean,
it's still moving. What are we at? 43,348.
I had not checked.
we're talking 13.5%
13.5.
over 24 hours.
Yep.
That's
Even for
Wow.
Bitcoin, that's something, like, is it because of the SWIFT collapse? And I mean,
Maybe.
I don't know what the future is going to be, but it seems like the petrodollar. I mean, if Russia joins up with the banking system of China, and that that just strengthens that their trade organization.
And Iran and Syria, those are the last few countries without central banks that are owned by the Rothschilds or,
Meanwhile, us pirates out here with Bitcoin, we don't care about
Yep.
any of this crap. Like,
Nope.
and this goes like folks in China, folks in Russia, whoever gets banned, whoever's got a sanction, Cuba, whoever you are. Like,
I mean,
this is what Bitcoin was built for.
because they could just shut down.
Uncensorable.
I mean, they're shutting down people's payment processing, and I mean, look what's going on with the truckers and what they're doing to their bank accounts up there. And they're not removing those emergency powers to seize your bank accounts.
I think these giant billboards are what's behind this pump today. Like, I mean, if any, I mean, the world is screaming out for uncensorable money, for crowd fundraising that can be legitimate.
Well, yeah, you had like the picture of like the I mean, I don't know if this is real once again, but allegedly it was like Ukrainians like lined up at the bank like trying to get their money out.
Oh, there was videos. There was plenty of videos of that. But you wonder, it was on both sides. There was Russia, there was videos from Russia, and then there was videos in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, is this propaganda on both sides just to get us prepared for the big financial reset or get us priming the pump for the digital?
But the reality is, if you if you had your money in Bitcoin, you'd just be sitting there with your hard wallet, like,
right,
cool.
But they're going to be coming after Bitcoin even harder now. You watch and see. We've already, because it's going to be a matter of national security now. Okay, they tried the environmental thing. That
somebody will get
bit.
caught like funneling money to Russia in like big amounts, like 10,000 Bitcoin or something.
Right. If you don't, if you're not part of if you're not under control, you're out of control. So if you're Bitcoin, you're out of control. Well, they can't handle out of control.
Do you think they would go after people like with accounts like through Coinbase or things?
If their capability rises to that level, but the desire's certainly there, right? And that's definitely what they're trying to do in Canada right now, where they told the exchanges about those, like, here are certain Bitcoin addresses that we want you to lock and freeze. Did you see that? There was
that is the one problem, is that if you operate through these exchanges, they can there is basically like a blacklist that gets passed around between like the major KYC compliant exchanges, where if you attempt to use one of their services with one of those wallets, they won't let you transfer, which, whatever. So then just operate on the black market, you're fine. But like, just be careful.
It's an attempt at attacking Bitcoin on the fungibility side. of trying to taint certain coins to try to differentiate between coins.
I think Nick's falling asleep over there, dude. You all right, dude?
Is that what was going on?
Sorry, I'm putting you to sleep over there.
I'm not gonna lie. Like this Ukraine shit does just put me to fucking sleep.
Oh no! What? Why? Why?
We
is
weren't
it
even
falling
talking Ukraine anymore. We were on
No.
Bitcoin.
Well, it's all connected, right?
True.
Yeah, it is. But I'm gonna be honest. Just the news in general just fucking puts me to sleep anymore. It's like, great, the world's fucked. Have fun.
Well, it's. I think it's going to get more interesting as we go, and
I think you're 100% right.
I think it's up to the libertarians and the crypto anarchists, and it's like it's up to us to help people because we've got the answers to all of this crap. You know, oh, you're tired of central banks, you're tired of all this international fuckery, you're tired of being manipulated, the fear tactics, you know, the control of your bank and resources, and told you have to sacrifice for their agenda. Like,
Always.
it's time to opt out of that shit. Just be like, yeah, you know what? Let's just all move beyond that and leave those bastards behind.
Well, but we're going to. The problem is that they're not going to, and they really don't give a shit what you have to say. They will after the fact, like after their whole system collapses. So we just need to keep the cool shit in place for like another 50 years.
Well, and just have our thing off to the side, like Ernie Hancock says, like we're over here now, right? And like if we've got Bitcoin, I don't really care what their central bank digital currency hellscape looks like, because I know that I'm going to at least have a small community of people that can still live.
I know that I'm always Mr. Black Pill on here, but I've definitely been focusing on a white pill, and it's the fact that in everything that like the World Economic Forum and those assholes put out, they always have it written in that there's going to be these people that don't buy into it. They know they're not going to get everybody. And then I add to that the fact that they're going to be living in a repressive fucking world that like has no freedom. And it's impossible that a world without freedom beats a world with freedom, just because there's no progress when you have no freedom. Technology doesn't move forward. Nothing moves forward. Invariably, the world outside of the control is going to win because it can't not.
What if you're talking about like, you know, buffalo versus cows, right? Like, is the cow going to win or the buffalo? Who's winning currently? The domesticated, mutated, controlled.
Well, there's more of them. Healthcare. But that's not life.
I have a name, okay?
Is that a life that you want?
I'm just saying, life doesn't really care if you're like a slave or not. Like, biology doesn't care. The cow is like far more, you could say, far more successful, at least in terms of biomass and numbers, than a buffalo out in the wild, nothing to eat in the winter, getting snowed on, no veterinarian care. Like,
this is very weird.
To the cow, the buffalo's crazy.
No, I get what Babs is saying, though.
I do, but usually it's the roles reversed. Usually, Babs, you know, you're kind of more the white pill guy.
Yeah, but I think the point is like it's not a given. It's not a given that like freedom's just going to naturally win out, because like that's just the way things go. I mean, freedom can win out if you fight for it. And
we've seen people accept like tyranny that I've never seen in my lifetime. It was bad enough after 9/11 what I saw people put up with. And I thought, oh my God, this is just awful. And now we've taken it to new levels under COVID. And I realized that people will pretty much put up with almost anything. As long as somebody's giving them some food, or, you know, like they've got a shelter over their head, they will tolerate almost any injustice, any absurdity,
I guess my position
bullshit to their face.
That technologically we will win. Like,
well, those that want to, like, for those of us with Bitcoin and encryption and a pirate mentality, we're going to be great.
I definitely don't give a shit what as a buffalo, I don't give a shit what the cows want to do. Let them go be cows.
I'm with you.
I'll be out here with my Starlink and fucking. But oh God, we got to talk about that during the after hours. Yeah. How did we not bring up fucking?
Yeah, that was pretty
Starlink.
Tasty, Elon.
So much bullshit happened this week.
Wait, I don't even know what you're talking about.
We'll save it for after hours.
We'll save it for the after hours.
Save it for the after hours.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, after hours, If you guys want to hear us talk about Starlink and all the other bullshit we didn't get to because so much of it happened this week, you guys should check out our After Hours podcast. We're going to record it right after this, and it's only $1 a month if you sign up for our Patreon. And you also get access to our backlog of, back catalog. Sorry. And
Backlogs, correct.
yeah, backlogs. You get backlogs. Jesus Christ. I can't speak. Yeah, so go to our Patreon and sign up for consider a $5 a month. We deserve it. We really do. And if you don't want to do that, give us $5 a Bitcoin. We'll take that too. Go to prlfans.com for our Bitcoin links and other ways to donate to the show. And we also have t-shirts for sale over at libertariancountry.com. If you use the code PRL or PRL Podcast, you get yourself a 10% discount. If you use the code PRL2 and you spend $50 or more, you get a 20% discount. If you're looking for CBD, go to wheeliespharmacy.com and use the code PRL Podcast for a 10% discount. And we're also brought to you tonight by Hidden in Plain Sight by Moral Bob. And until next time, live free
or die.